Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the 53206 cast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Meg.
And Meg.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
It is a podcast. I always
You know
think you're
this,
going
right?
to say something else, and nope, it's usually just it's a podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast. I guess specifically, if we wanted to get into it.
Let's get into it. What
Okay.
what kind of podcast is it?
Oh, it's a podcast is specifically designed to help the listener engage in the process of rethinking our inner city spaces because there's... And I don't know if this is exactly what I want to talk about today, but I know that there's, the story that we all tell ourselves, or there's opinions about areas of concentrated poverty, which most people call like the inner city or the poor community. There's all these stories and all these. I guess what you might even consider to be myths around
Old wives' tales?
I guess.
A
Is that what those are
legend?
called? Old wives?
I know. When I said it, I thought, is it wives or is it something else?
I don't.
I'm usually real close with this kind of stuff, but
Right.
just a little bit off.
Which makes me think you're wrong, but
Yeah.
I actually don't think you're wrong. I think you're right. Yeah, but there's all these thoughts that people have, and I guess like maybe on the surface they're right, but a lot of them just really aren't, and that's why we do this podcast, right? Is because you think that your life is going to be one way, and you think that the world around you is one way, and then you enter into that world and it's different.
Can I feel like this is a good example.
Sure.
I went to a party yesterday and we were talking about people being able to swim. And if people if people of different races actually if there's actually like white people can swim more than black people was a misconception that somebody could have thought.
Okay.
And so I Googled it on the way home, and I was driving, I'm going to be honest here. So I don't totally remember, but I'm pretty sure it was only like 15% of people can actually swim well.
Oh.
And I thought that's
so just the number of people that can swim in general isn't very high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I just thought that was an interesting one, and I feel like it fit in well with
Well, you're
maybe
a
some
big
misconceptions.
swimmer, so maybe this is a swimming podcast
Maybe
now.
it is. Yeah, I really do like to swim.
Right. Yeah. So Meg, we had our first kind of kickoff event for the growing season, garden season. Was yesterday.
We kicked it off. We gave out some lemonade and some seeds, and I think the best part about it for me was that we had six or seven student leaders show up and just working hard. Two of the kids, it was their 16th birthday. Yeah, they're twins. So that was really fun that they wanted to come and they wanted to work. And so we did like a cleanup at first, and then we had the event, and I know them all well, so I was like, hey, we don't really need all of you guys to work. So like if anyone wants to go home, like that's fine. I'll pay you for the 3 hours you were here, and that's fine. And they were all like, no, I want to keep working. And so I was like, okay, if you want to keep working, like you have to like and anybody that comes into the garden space, you have to welcome. And they all did just such a great job. We gave out lemonade, gave out seeds, and just kind of welcomed people into the garden and got a good jump start with giving out those seeds and getting people into gardening. Yeah,
and it was funny you said that you were going to keep them working because I think that group of kids and I moved 100 8-foot 2x10s. Halfway down the block. It's the location we have our trailer in is a little hard to get the trailer in and out. And I didn't want to get the trailer in and out. Yeah. So I figured it'd be a little easier if we just carry the boards, which I don't know if it was or not, but kept everybody busy.
And you got it done. So you moved the boards onto the trailer so you can. And so who's doing all the boxes?
Yeah. So South Milwaukee High School is going to build about 50 planter boxes.
Nice.
I assume that some of those 2x10s will get messed up.
Sure.
Somebody will measure once and cut twice or whatever.
Sure.
So they'll do it wrong, which is fine. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're going to build about 50 of them for us. Then we got about another 40-ish to be built by student leaders, and I'll do some of it, but get that going because we're trying to add about 2,000 square feet of growing space in there for this year.
That's exciting.
So, it's like last year.
Yeah,
and also like the year before, but so it's not any more exciting than it has been in the past, but still, it's an endeavor and it's a lot of work. But it's great because then it gives the kids at the summer program something to do, and they can be a part of the whole process of constructing garden beds. So Meg, when I was there, I was repairing. We have this kind of stage area. It's an elevated. People might call it a patio.
Yeah, it's where the lunches are served.
Yeah. Essentially, though, it's a patio that was built, and it has a roof on it, which is nice. And it functions right as our kitchen space, and it has some of the, like, we could hook a hose up to it and it has a sink.
Sure.
We could hook a propane tank up to it and use it as a grill. We don't very often, but essentially it serves as kind of like the service area for the lunches in the summer program. And I noticed a couple months back that it was leaning a little bit, and it as I kind of went and inspected what was the deal with that, because your building shouldn't be leaning.
Sure.
Structure shouldn't be leaning. I noticed that it had sustained some damage.
Yes.
And it appeared that I don't know what else it would have been, but somebody drove a car into the back of it. So the back of the kitchen is essentially like on the fence line. It's like a foot, 18 inches off the back of the fence. So somebody crashed their car into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so it needed to be repaired. And doing that, so that's what I worked on yesterday. You were there, but I'm telling the listener. But that really made me think about how a neighborhood like ours gets to be the way that it is. So, and up until very recently, probably within the last year or so, if there had been some damage, a car runs into something, a fire, maybe a hole in a roof. And a large part, it's because of the neglect of the neighborhood. It has probably a lot to do with property values, but that damage was just left there.
Well, I remember there was 3 or 4 Habitat houses that were right across the highway, so on 7th Street, so right across from us. And they were just built, and this was probably 10 years ago, ish, give or take 5 years.
Okay.
And somebody put in a fence, and they put in a fence, and within a month of them putting in a fence, there was a car that drove into the fence and damaged it.
I remember
and
that.
I just walked by that the other day, and it still is damaged.
Sure.
And so, I think like people, like they put something up, and then they just either can't get to it, or they don't have money, or like you said, property values. I mean, I feel like we could look at our house, and there's quite a few things that are maybe not perfect right now because we just don't have the time or the energy, or those are probably it.
Most of those two things. But
but I think you're right that in our neighborhood there's a lot of things that just kind of go as is, because that's just the way it's been. And that I know that that's changing a little bit. So I'm pretty watchful about like the work that's being done in the neighborhood, and seeing this house getting a roof put on it. It's great. A lot of the houses, even some of the ones that we own, still could really benefit from getting a new roof put onto them. But that whole thing really made me really think about how it wouldn't be abnormal for that kitchen space, and I'm not specifically calling out the kitchen space, but that's just a metaphor in general, for something that has been damaged by no fault of the the owner or the representative, to just remain that way for years, possibly. And I think
I think, when, Meg, we had Dex's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always kind of been a little...
I get nervous before every birthday party because I just have this fear. When we first moved in 20 years ago, a lot of people did not like the idea of us living where we live. And they were very vocal about, that it's an unsafe place, that it's not a good place to raise a family. And so I feel like I still have that fear that like one of the parents is going to come and be like, why do you live here? And I think I would just tell them about our podcast and say, listen in. But I always have this fear that somebody is just going to look down on our neighborhood, and I just get nervous about it. I feel like it's going to be a conflict. I'm going to have to deal with it. And my kids are going to be, our feelings are going to be hurt, or whatever. Yeah.
So where I was going with that is that, I could see somebody that maybe hadn't spent a lot of time in the neighborhood wondering, well, how did it get to be like this?
Yeah.
You look around and the buildings are falling apart. And again, some of it's getting better.
It is.
Which it probably will lead to its own set of issues.
Sure.
But, it is getting slowly better, but you can walk around and you can see buildings. What was the one? There's a house that the city owns that you can see from we got this garden. The porch is collapsed.
Yeah, it is collapsed, and
it's just hanging.
Yeah. They put a caution, some caution tape.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I do not understand how we can exist as a group of people where the people that are in charge of these buildings are allowed to keep them in that space.
And I think like that's a hard one too, because that faces the school and the school windows look out to it.
Sure.
And I think that kids see that, and some sort of value, they see how that house is not valued, and they see that our community is not valued. Sure. And I have a problem with that being right next to the school, and no one doing anything. But I mean, you can go 3 blocks down and it's the same thing. So
but so that's that is so that house I'm almost 99% sure is owned by the city of Milwaukee. Was foreclosed on, and it just hasn't gone through whatever the process is to get it either torn down or to somebody that's going to fix it.
Yeah.
But
even I feel like that house, like I remember the people who lived in it. It was a I don't know what they're called, where you can like just rent out like a room.
Sure.
Whatever that's called. Rooming houses. I know now it was a bunch of old guys that they would. I know
they were fixing lawnmowers and
or
they had lawnmowers.
They had a lot of lawnmowers.
I don't know if they were fixing
broken.
them, but they had them.
Yeah. But I know like that house, like it has not been worked on. I know that they just were rooming there, and they weren't, they were just paying to live there. And I know they weren't taking care of it. And I know, so it has been neglected for a very long time, and I think I don't know if it can even be saved.
No, when I look at it, the foundation's in pretty rough shape,
okay.
so I probably wouldn't advocate that it gets saved. But
but
if you're somewhat of an outsider and you wonder like, well, how does it get to be like that? I mean, it's I'd be pretty surprised if there was a garden or a park in, I don't know, Menominee Falls that cars are hitting and smashing into things, So we have more instances of things getting damaged or destroyed.
Yeah.
We have less resources to repair the damage and destroyed. And we have less ability to keep things, or less incentive to keep things updated. Yeah. And so then you look around, and these are the physical conditions of the neighborhood. So, Meg, what are you looking forward to for the summer? Because we got summer coming up.
Yeah. So I think I'm really looking forward to. It was fun at the event yesterday. Before the event, I asked all the kids what they wanted to grow, and so a lot of them said a lot of the same things that that we usually plant. So cucumbers, tomatoes.
They didn't
greens.
say friendship.
That would have been great. It would have warmed my heart. But yeah, a few people said, they said we should just have more strawberries. And so that day we actually dug up some of the strawberries and put them some other places, and we're going to dig up some more strawberries and just, put them at all of the different gardens. And so berries were a big thing. We have some people donating berry bushes. So that'll be really fun. One of our volunteers, she's looking into how to grow blueberries. So like that's really fun.
Great.
And so, yeah, I think just like getting kids excited about what they're growing, that's always a big passion. We've been working with 3 different schools. And so planting, I've been specifically working at North Division with their green team. And so that's been really fun to see what kids want to plant. And we have a few of the kids from the garden that have been going to green team. And so, one of the kids, and it's like, I feel like it's one of the kids that he's been kicked out of the garden. Like he has a hard time. I feel like you could speak on, he has a hard time.
He's got a lot of energy.
He's got a lot of energy, but he also just sometimes makes really poor decisions.
Sure.
Which, all kids do. And so it's been really fun because he keeps asking, what do I need to be a student leader? And so that's been really fun. But just being able to start growing earlier with the kids has been a really neat opportunity. And so we're planning to, from North Division, have a field trip. And so kids will come and they'll actually plant it at the garden. And so that'll be really neat for them to see the seedling start, see it grow, get planted, and then be able to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's good. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I like that we're trying to push for more student leadership or more student leadership opportunities. I think that you were just 45 seconds ago you were talking about a kid that and it took me a second to remember who you were talking about. Well, one of the things when I'm on my runs in the morning, one of the things I've been thinking about is that you get a young person, and they, in particular, the young people that have been through a lot of traumatic stuff, and I wonder, there's like two semi-conflicting viewpoints, I think, in the world. There's people that are maybe a little too ready to give a kid a pass because they've been through a traumatic experience. And I saw that working in schools all the time. And like, that was not helpful because then they just do crazy shit and don't take any responsibility for themselves. Yeah. But then there was another group that would never take into account and
judged them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, how come you are like this? Well, because their parents are insane, right? Or they watch their mom get murdered by their dad. Like, that's not going to go well for you as a kid, right? Yeah. But one of the things that I really am looking forward to is, and in particular because I'm thinking about some of these kids, is that they are, they're not one specific thing. Like, no kid is all good or all bad. Yeah. Many of them, or most of them, or even probably all of them, they just need to be shaped and molded into the type of person that can be a productive citizen, or even just like sustain themselves. And I think that that you learn those skills when you're in the early high school, the late middle school, or early high school. You learn that kind of stuff every time you're given an opportunity to have a little bit of responsibility. Yeah. You get a little bit of responsibility, and then you go and you either are successful or you're unsuccessful. Yeah. If you're successful, you should get told you did a good job. Yeah. If you're unsuccessful, you have somebody that can walk you through how you might want to be a little bit more successful the next time around. And so, it doesn't surprise me that guy who would seem at sometimes to not want to have anything to do with being a productive citizen would at a different time say, oh, what can I do to show that I'm a productive citizen and become a part of this leadership team? And the leadership team, you make a little bit more money, but the leadership team is just like a name you give. It's really somewhat meaningless. Yeah. It's just, you're a leader because you do the right things and you help other people do the right things. Yeah. So, every kid has the capacity to be that at any given time. And, just like every adult has the capacity to do good or to do bad. Yeah. And the more often you choose to do good, the better things should turn out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with kids, but kids are kind of dumb. They don't know that. So you got to teach them that. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to giving some more responsibilities to some of the kids because the more the more that the organization grows, like it doesn't really do us any good if the growth of the individuals that are a part of it isn't authentic or deep in some way. And so you want those kids to have the chance to call out their peers or to lead a group of kids that are younger than them, because that's what you would hope that they would be doing when they're 30.
Yeah.
You had the kids circle up at the beginning yesterday and ask them what they wanted to do in 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that's great. And whatever they say, it doesn't matter what they want to do. But the concept of that you are going to, in 5 years, you have the chance right now to start deciding how things are going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not like, when you're sitting speaking of birthdays with Dex, it's not like when you're blowing out your birthday candles and you think, in 5 years, I wish it will be like this.
Yeah.
It's in 5 years, I can make this. I can make these things happen as long as it's, statistically semi-likely.
Yeah.
I can make these things. I'm, personally not going to be a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
But pretty much anything I wanted to do in 5 years or 10 years, I could go do that.
Yeah.
As long as I don't, hit some kind of like physical. As long as I can physically do it, you really could do any of those things.
Yeah.
And so, the first step would just be saying out loud or even, just deciding, oh, this is what I would like to do. And then starting to figure out what the steps would be to go do that. But so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Great.
Is having some more of those kind of conversations, because I think those things actually do. I think you can have enough of those that it will make a difference. And so if you have 100 of them and it guarantees that mindset could be shifted so that a kid thinks that way, well, then, if you at least can have one, starts nudging them in that direction. So
yeah, that's great.
You got anything you want to plug before we go?
I think, the big thing we're probably going to be plugging for the next few times is if you want to either get involved or donate to We Got This for the summer, you can learn all about it at wegotThisMK.com, or feel free to reach out. We never mind you guys reaching out if you have specific things you want to either pay for or, help with. We just had, a bunch of people are doing seed starting for us. We have a school up in, I think, Plymouth that is doing seed starting.
And Plymouth is far away.
I think it's Plymouth. It might not be, but I think it is.
Well, Plymouth is far away.
Plymouth is, yes. I did a website for the it was a lawn mowing company in Plymouth, Wisconsin. And
not the hoarder?
No, that was down in Kenosha. Okay. That was an interesting one.
The guy that cleaned up hoarder houses?
Yes. And he said he would clean up anything. And it was...
I bet he would.
I was like, okay. So anyway, feel free to contact us at contact@wegotThisMK.com, and we would love we'd love for anybody to be part of the We and We Got This, because we are... we have a great team, we have a great board, we have a great group of volunteers, but we can always use more we's.
Great. Well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.